Hi, welcome to ARTV News. I'm Hannah Whitehead.
And I'm Matthew Hain. In this show, our regular news segments with updates for November and exhibitions in Melbourne and the city of Port Phillip.
An interview with one of our political candidates and what they are going to do for the arts, and our feature on the Alex Theatre and ARTV magazine.
The Melbourne Queer Festival is back in full swing for its 32nd year. The festival is over 12 days and will showcase the latest and greatest in queer film from around the world, engaging public programs and special events. The MQFF Awards and Shorts take place on Saturday the 19th of November, where they will announce the winners of the Jury Awards and the winner of the City of Melbourne Award for Best Australian Short, which will also qualify as the MQFF official selection for the Iris Prize, the largest prize for LGBTIQ short film in the world. For more information, visit the website.
A new installation exploring both the magic and hardships of working life stories of well-known and everyday Victorians to open next month at the Immigration Museum. 6 stories which depict how working life informs identity will open at the Immigration Museum in early October. Told through objects and projected images from the museum's Victoria collection and projections, My Working Life provides a platform for diverse voices from a range of eras, highlighting cultural and social diversity. From snake charming to activism, all in a day's work. To find out more, visit the Immigration Museum at Museums Victoria.
China, the Past is Present is underway at the NGV in Melbourne free of charge until February of next year. The exhibit presents historical and contemporary collections of Chinese art and designs, as well as artistic traditions. The exhibit displays Chinese cultural movements and ideas to explore in understanding a modern China today. With 5 millennia of art forms, this NGV International explores themes of spirituality, power, and compassion, amongst much, much more. For more information, visit ngv.vic.gov.au.
Mecca and the NGV Women in Design Commission series have brought to life the architectural work of Tatiana Balbeo. Her work is designed to stimulate a social change and brings a unique perspective to the history of the architectural profession and its future by creating work that is intellectually rigorous and visually dynamic. The exhibition, titled La Ropa Sucia se lava en casa, Dirty Clothes Are Washed at Home, brings together architectural elements, upcycled textiles and wall drawings. Further adding to the experience, Balbeo joined the session at the exhibition, where she will share her perspectives and what drives her and her work. This session was followed by a Q&A with the curator of contemporary design and architecture. For further information, visit the website.
During October, the Art Hunter had its inaugural portrait walk, where 3 studio galleries were involved: Russ Kitchen's studio, Enza Benincasa Studio, and the Stranger Gallery and Studio with artists Peter Bazankas and Marie Cootie. A small group of enthusiasts spent time at each gallery. Each artist chose creative portraits in their chosen medium. Russ Kitchen, mixed media; Enza Benincasa, paints; Marie Cootie, digital art; and Peter Bazankas, photography. With the success of such a small-scale art crawl, the Art Hunter will no doubt plan more in the future.
There is a new and exciting arts venue in town, and after a 2.5-year dry spell, creativity is back in a big way. The Artful Yoga Gallery is a chic New York-style art gallery and yoga studio that will truly captivate all your senses and make sure you walk out with an experience like no other. The space is all about creativity and community, whether it's producing an event featuring some of Melbourne's most talented artists and their work as a backdrop, or perhaps yoga in an art gallery that's anything but your average yoga class. The gallery provides an affordable space to create a community and a platform for artists.
Taking over Flinders Street Station's hidden 3rd floor and ballroom is Time, created by renowned artist Tyrone Wright, better known as Rome. The exhibition opened to the public on the 28th of October, more than 3 years since Rome began constructing this extravagant and intricate exhibition. Time revives a lost era of Melbourne history. Once a lively space for sporting clubs, language classes, a rooftop running track and fabled ballroom in the post-war era, it soon became subject to years of neglect. The artist initially found it difficult to access the crumbling structure. However, after tackling its ruins, Roan was able to create what's been described as a nostalgic love letter to mid-century Melbourne. Roan captures the timeless essence and tender detail of the 112-year-old site with his artistry. He illustrates past stories of the working class, generating fictional histories to escort audience members back in time to Melbourne post the Second World War. The piece includes 11 themed rooms, dressed with several original and diligently recreated period objects for audiences to explore. Combined with expressive lighting and sound design, the art captures the majestic character of the early and mid-19th century. The experience takes you through machine rooms, typing pools, and public libraries, featuring Roan's haunting female portraits hovering ghost-like above each scene. Roan says there's no wrong way to experience the space, and that people will make their own story. The exhibition is held on Level 3 at Flinders Street Station and runs until the 29th of January 2023. To grab your tickets, visit www.roan.art.
Paul Yor's World Made Flesh exhibit at the Australian Centre for Contemporary Art is ending soon. The exhibit, designed around Yor's 5 purpose-designed spaces, presenting his different bodies of work, which opened in late September. Paul recently appeared on The Art Hunter.
Next to that shot is this amazing dome, which was part of Rising as well, and it's spectacular. How long did it take you, Paul, to make that?
Well, bits and pieces I've been working on for quite a few years, yeah, the dome is also a form that I've used in my work a few times. So I mean, this is a new iteration of works that I've been sort of playing with for close to 10 years.
Yeah.
And sort of kind of collages elements of older works and things, but I mean, this exhibition was in development for 2 years, so really working on it for that amount of time.
Yeah. So where are they going after here? Like this exhibition at ACCA is on for the next few months, but where are they going next year?
Yeah, so this whole newly commissioned work for ACCA is touring to Sydney early next year as part of World Pride and Sydney Festival.
Right.
So it'll be at Carriage Works from January 5th to March 5th.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Take on the road, and it's going to be in town at the sort of most, kind of jubilantly queer time of the year. So that'll be quite exciting.
Paul's bodies of work on display, including Signs, Embodiment, Manifesto, Horizon, and World Made Flesh, are still available for viewing at the Australian Centre for Contemporary Arts. For more information, visit acca.melbourne.
Opera Australia, in association with the Really Useful Group, are presenting Cameron McIntosh's production of Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera. The production makes a much-anticipated debut in Sydney and Melbourne during August and October, finally launching at the Sydney Opera House and Arts Centre Melbourne after it was postponed in 2021 due to COVID regulations. Starring Josh Pitterman, Amy Manford, and Blake Bowden as Phantom, Christine, and Raoul, the production broke box office history when tickets were released earlier this year. With those hoping to still secure tickets, you can join the waitlist at Opera House Australia at this address. Launched on International Women's Day, the MECA and NGV Women in Design Commission is the beauty brand's largest commitment to Australian cultural institution, building an exponentially long-standing partnership with NGV. An advocate for architectural design that inspires social change, Tatiana Bilbao explored issues rarely explored in the architecture industry. In her installation for the MECA and NGV Women in Design Commission, La Ropa Sucia se lava en casa, or dirty clothes are washed at home, a large concrete communal wash basin, and a collaborative textile made during public workshops held in Mexico City, Berlin, and Melbourne draw attention to the enduring inequalities surrounding domestic work in the contemporary society, such as unpaid work, gender politics, sustainability, and compassion. The 5-year series is supported by MECA Empower, a social change initiative that advocates for equality and equal opportunity for women and girls, including the advancement of women in the art and design.
This commissioning of this work was made possible by MECA and NGV Women in Design Commission. The commission annually invites a leading designer or architect to create works for her NGV collection over the next 5 years. NGV sincerely thanks her MECA for assisting in the acquisition of these works.
After a huge response on West End, Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat will come to Australia after 30 long-awaited years. The multi-award-winning epic of biblical proportions follows the journey of Joseph, favourite son of Jacob, and one of the 12 brothers. The production will premiere at Melbourne's Regent Theatre from November 11th. Tickets are on sale now and can be bought at josephthemusical.com.au.
Lawrence Cherson is the candidate for Albert Park. She has a particular interest in the arts. Welcome, Lauren.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me here today.
Do you think the arts have had a fair go the last few years?
I've been furious about how emerging artists and our self-employed artists have been treated, particularly over COVID. What we've seen happen is funding go to large organisations and millions at a time, but that doesn't help our locals. That doesn't help our emerging artists. And think of the years of opportunity that have been taken away. Historically, people might get their first gig, that rolls into the second one, and then they start to build their fan base. And once people get around 1,500 regular fans, that's when they can start to look to do it full time and start be generating enough income to make arts their full-time career. And what's happened with the lack of focus on our on-the-ground artists is that we've now got a gap of artists that aren't able to financially support themselves and haven't been building their own business over the last couple of years.
So how would you address that? What type of investment would you like to make in the arts?
One of the investment I would love to see happen is similar to early stage investments, and you see it with startups and with technology companies, and there are so many innovative companies in the entertainment industry right here in Albert Park, in Port Melbourne, in St Kilda and in South Melbourne as well. So we need investors looking at those companies so they start to build up new ways for artists to display and communicate their art. We also need to be looking at more opportunities for artists to perform locally. So if we're looking at pubs and venues, for example, this is where the gig economy comes into it, and your Saturday night gig down at the local pub.
How would you like to see artists be protected?
Well, by having choice in how they choose to have income. If we look at the Greens and their policy, they're choosing 2,000 artists to sponsor full time. What about the other thousands of artists that are out there? What about the equal opportunity for everyone to create their own art, their own music, their own theatre productions, and to be able to get that out into community? And from there, we need to be looking at our events and our tourism. St Kilda has been on the world map for years, for decades, and that title has been stripped away from us here. I would love to see us have a sister city partnership with Nashville, for example, where the artists can learn from each other, mentor each other, but also create events and activities so that we can grow internationally as well as here in Melbourne and throughout Australia.
Well, thank you for joining me on ARTV News.
Thanks so much for having me here, Matt. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I look forward to working with you a lot more closely over the next 10, 15 years.
The Alex Theatre in St Kilda has been home to a diverse range of theatrical, local community and commercial initiatives, organised by independent artists, established and emerging producers, as well as festival events. In addition to hosting fully fledged productions, it's an ideal venue for auditions, rehearsals, workshops and/or showings of work in creative development. Offering a comfortable venue for everyone, the Alex Theatre is presenting numerous events including theatre, stand-up comedy, jazz, cabaret, opera, and many more. Several shows such as Mamma Mia Out Loud, Safer and Stronger, Around the World in 80 Days, Puffs, and many more were presented at the Alex Theatre prior to the COVID-19 outbreak. One of the shows, Puffs, a parody of Harry Potter's story, with a hilarious and clever storyline, has become one of the most successful events at the Alex. However, since the beginning of the year, several major events, including Tamworth Country Music Festival and the Broken Heel Drag Festival, have been cancelled or delayed because of the Omicron outbreak, leaving many in the industry once again without work. According to the data, around 2018 attendance had reached 7.5 million, with revenue nearly 650 million in Victoria. On the other hand, in early 2020, there was a sharp decline in attendance due to COVID of 79%. Revenue declined by 75%. Nationally, attendance declined 79% and revenue 75%. While Melbourne and Sydney have been hit the hardest, the story of the performing arts across Australia since March 2020 has been one of delays, pauses and cancellations, and the Alex Theatre is no exception. This led to an opportunity for the Alex to try something new and innovate with technology and investing in the future. This included a new partnership with ProScreens, allowing new tech to improve TV and movie production content, whilst allowing a haven for technicians in the field to freely work when the outside world was anything but certain. This investment in technology also included freedom for creators, working with alleyway and street performers to try and re-energise the art scene when it was destroyed. The Alex also took time to look to websites and online games such as Alexa St. George, a ghost that educates users about St Kilda's history online. Television content has also continued through uncertainty, allowing ARTV News, The Art Hunter, and other programs to thrive, when on-stage production has been impossible. The Alex has also been able to make partnerships in the media, with both the Alex Press and Toorak Times promoting the arts to new audiences.
There are so many things that are going on behind the scenes here. There's the Tonight Live with Ben Murphy, which is a variety show, or there's the Art Hunter, there's Art News that's going on, there's a writers show as well. And we've got great support from the theatre here. And it couldn't happen anywhere else but here in St Kilda at the Alex Theatre.
The future is bright for the Alex Theatre. With no government funding, it would be easy to say they were in serious trouble. However, with plans to re-enter the stage by March 2023 and works on multiple musicals, new investment and understanding of technology, and all it can do for content, as well as their new partnerships for both film and gaming projects, the Alex is still firmly alive.
The word art originates from the Latin meaning for skill or craft, and the Indo-European meaning to arrange. Art was most likely created as an outlet of expression. It enabled us to use our individual perception to interpret it, whilst it still communicated a message, be it spiritual, philosophical, religious or political. The earliest art was most likely from indigenous cultures such as the Aboriginals, who depicted their culture and spirit dreamings through cave drawings and painting. Art later derived from ancient civilizations such as Africa, China, pre-Columbia, Egypt, Greece, India, Mesopotamia, Oceania and Rome. Ancients saw their gods as their main source of artistic devotion. It was expected of them to depict them as superhumans, portrayed with their special powers. Ancient cultures like Greece concentrated more on animals before moving on to capture the human form. By the time of the Middle Ages, Gothic and Byzantine art was influenced by religious beliefs. During the Romantic period, art was considered more of a mental exercise associated with science and religion. It has been developed into many styles such as Arabesque, Baroque, Bauhaus, Byzantine, Carolingian, Christian, Classicism, Gothic, Indigenous, Islamic, Naturalism, Realism, Rococo, Romanticism and Surrealism. When aesthetic beauty was created with the purpose of particular function, such art became known as more of a craft rather than just an art form. Early pottery and wicker basket weaving is a great example of such crafts being established. Art has also allowed us to discover each other's cultures and beliefs, from the different languages we all speak, to the cultural wardrobes we all wear. Art is simply a huge part of our lives. Art allows us to think as independently as we like whilst remaining open to a variety of interpretations. We can look up to the skies and interpret the stars and clouds above as art. Even a sunset allows us to be enriched by Mother Nature's daily ability to offer us escapism. Art provides a truly universal platform for the unique actions of just one artist to effectively enrich the lives of so many. What an ultimate gift to appreciate in this modern day world.
Tony Beauvais is with us now to talk about his art, which is all about astrology. So tell us about these symbols and how it relates to your passion.
Well, I think I was around 25 and I went travelling to Europe. And life had been all right, but had a bit of a hiccup there, losing some friends and family. So I got a little bit despondent and I started just having that good old think about what am I meant to do with my life, what do I want to be. In a way, I was looking for hope and direction. And I stumbled across some astrology books, I think I was in London, and I just found myself buying another one and looking at different astrologers and seeing if there was any common ground. So I did, over 2 years, I did a lot of research on all of the symbols and the ancient meaning and the development of them. And I realised that a lot of the current day astrologers, or horoscope columnists, etc., I should have just stopped with the ancients, because every time I looked at everyone else's words and research, it was as if they'd all copied it and dragged it all from the ancient meaning anyway. So really I wanted to bring them a series right back to what the symbols stood for according to the ancients. Give everyone a reminder of the positive attributes that are with us if we choose to use them.
Great. Can you tell us a bit more about the positive side, because that is your perspective, correct?
Very much promoting the positive side, because I'm tying in this series in a way to promote the age of Aquarius. So we're in 2021 now. It's a great year. Apparently the age of Pisces, its 2000 year great block or great year itself, is coming to an end. So the age of Aquarius, it's not the dawning of anymore. So I thought, well, how can I reach people to promote such a beautiful message which has been predicted? And I thought, well, age of Aquarius, I can use the astrology symbols to try and connect with each other and then promote everything that's positive for them to know that they can make a difference just by remembering that some of their characteristics and attributes are very powerful, and they can empower the person to be a better individual in today's world, and hopefully a little bit more caring, considerate, and aware that the age of Aquarius is coming and change is coming, and we're probably we're the generation to drive it.
Great. Yeah. Now you mentioned prediction, and that kind of lit me up. Yeah. What is your prediction with these symbols?
Well, these are my very last test prints before I go back to the printer for the final ones. Prediction for these, I'm hoping to see them up on some walls in some galleries. I'm going to sell a small range just downstairs in downstairs here at the Alex Theatre, and just starting with some short little cards which make for lovely prints. And they're quite informative because they flip them over, and when I get them I'll bring them in and show you, but it's everything positive, and especially using the ruling planet, the element, the power of the element, and of course always I mention a little bit about the symbol.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Tony.
No worries. Thanks very much for having me.
That's all for now.
If you want to contact us, email us at info@artv.com.au.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.